Welcome to another episode of The Dissection. Today, Twitter was dominated by conversations about Floyd Shivambu and Dudu Zuma. And this was primarily because of two things. Number one, there has been discourse already predating any of the events which occurred in the last 24 hours about divisions between Dudu Zuma and Floyd Shivambu. You know, at some point when Jacob Zuma traveled to Ghana for the inauguration of the Ghanaian president, Dudu Zuma posted some pictures. It was Nhlamulo there. It was somebody else. I can't remember who. And it was almost seeming as if she's saying Floyd Shivambu didn't go. These are the president's men, and Floyd Shivambu is not included in that. And that, at that point, fed fuel to the fire, right? Around whether or not there are divisions, that there's dislike or maybe distrust between Floyd Shivambu and, Dudu Zuma. So already, that was something that was circulating on social media. I didn't cover it because I couldn't find concrete evidence. I couldn't find something that would really make it such that it gets covered by the dissection. But the second thing why the conversation was flared up by social media or attended to with great glee by social media is because the rumors were in a way confirmed when Dudu Zuma jumped online and basically called Floyd Shivambu a liability. The timing of her tweets was not particularly useful to the MK party because of three reasons. Number one, there was a major speech to be delivered today by the MK party in Parliament in the SONA debate, because after the president presents the State of the Nation, there's a debate by different political parties about that speech. The president gets to respond, etc., etc. Other members of the political party get to participate in terms of the ruling party. As the official opposition, the MK gets the most time. They get the biggest bite of the cherry, if you will, in that they get to dominate the rebuttal. So, of course, if you're MK leadership, that's what you want to be the focus on the 11th of February 2025. You want the focus to be on the remarks that are going to be made by Dr. John Hlophe. But unfortunately, because of the drama caused by Dudu Zuma, that was not necessarily the focus of the speech. By the way, I listened to that speech. It was mostly Jacob Zuma did it better. There were no 9 wasted years. Jacob Zuma built these universities. Jacob Zuma built that. You didn't do anything. Because you recall when Cyril Ramaphosa came in, his big narrative was that there were 9 wasted years. There was pushback internally from the ANC about that narrative. It looks as if MK is now willing to debate that narrative in public and ask South Africans who did it better, Zuma or Ramaphosa. And in many respects, all of the key economic indicators, the value of the rand, the level of unemployment, the levels of load shedding, etc., all of those things were actually better under Jacob Zuma. Those are the numbers. Those are the facts. Now, the counter argument towards the MK interpretation of those facts is that Zuma was the cause of the long-term problems that Cyril Ramaphosa is fixing. I don't think that's fully true, and I do think that President Ramaphosa has failed in many respects to address some of the core issues. And the reason why he has failed is because he believes in the private sector above all else, and he has really focused on these mega projects to the detriment of some microeconomic issues that he needed to be looking at. He's very much a macroeconomic guy, big project guy, but doesn't always pay attention to some of the smaller scale issues which do help people and change their lives on the ground. Anyway, MK would have much rather had that conversation exclusively. The SONA debate number 2 was something that they wanted full attention on because it was a speech which was going to be attended and it was planned to be a significant moment because Jacob Zuma was going to be there. He was going to be scheduled in attendance. Floyd Shivambu was also there. They were sitting right next to each other. Zuma showed a lot of support to Floyd Shivambu. But prior to Dudu's tweets, obviously the focus would have been, we're going to Parliament. Dr. John Hlophe is going to deliver this amazing speech defending the 9 years of the Zuma administration. Then Jacob Zuma is going to be in the house. Ubaba is going to be in the house. And that's going to bring the house down. But unfortunately, that's not where the discourse went because of what Dudu Zuma tweeted, right? The other reason, the third reason why the tweets were not useful to the MK party is because there's been discourse online already about MK not being effectively managed and having a high turnover in human resources, meaning that there's no or little job stability in the Umkhonto weSizwe. The Dudu Zuma tweets would have added ammunition to this criticism of chaos, of disorder. And that's something that the MK party doesn't want, because they want their party to be an attractive destination for prospective candidates in the local government elections, which are coming up in 2026. So these tweets were not desirable for those three reasons. What did Dudu Zuma say, if you missed it, right? What did she say? She said that, amongst other things, that Floyd Shivambu was the worst thing that happened to the MK party. She called him a mafigizolo, arrived yesterday, nobody in the party, effectively. Then she said, they will expel me tomorrow, not tomorrow, what the hell is that? It is well with my soul. Oksalayo, Floyd Shivambu is useless. Useless. That's what she said with her chest when she was tweeting. But obviously, that's not the status right now, because she has apologized. The MK party issued a statement demanding an apology from Dudu Zuma. The party said, such actions are unacceptable, divisive, denigrating, and offensive. They undermine the principles of unity, respect, and discipline that are fundamental to the values of the Umkhonto weSizwe party. Failure to comply with the directive to apologize will result in immediate consequences, including the summary termination of Commander Dudu Zuma's membership on Umkhonto weSizwe party and a recall from all party responsibilities. So for a part of the day, it seemed as if Dudu was not going to apologize. It seemed as if she's just going to say what she said, stand on 10 toes, stand on business, standing on business. It looked like that was going to be her position. But then she issued the apology, and this is what the apology says. This apology, in no sentence, in no in between the lines, shows any love or respect for Floyd Shivambu. This is what she said. This apology has a tack in it, but it's subtle. It's subtle. Here's the apology. Public apology from Commander Dudu Zuma. What am I saying? Dudu Zuma Sambundla. Right? Sambundla. Right, here we go. As a committed and disciplined member of the Umkhonto weSizwe party, I hereby extend this unconditional public apology to President Zuma and Umkhonto weSizwe party leadership for the profanity used in my recent posts on X. While I hold strong and personal views, including serious concerns about the internal party matters, my perceptions of how certain issues may be handled within the organization, especially by the party secretary general, I fully recognize that such concerns should have been and shall be addressed through the proper internal channels, as dictated by the core values and principles of our glorious movement of the people. I acknowledge that expressing these grievances publicly was unfortunate and may have undermined the unity, discipline, and respect that defines the MK party. My profanity was not and should not be a reflection on the revolutionary discipline, respect, and solidarity that our organization, under the esteemed leadership of President President Jacob Zuma upholds. To President Jacob Zuma of the MK party, the entire leadership, members, supporters of the MK party, and the people of South Africa, I wish to assure you that I never intended to harm the integrity of the party or the values it upholds. Hence my deepest apology for any offense caused in this regard. Furthermore, I offer formal apologies to all the structures I serve in, whose roles and responsibilities I carry with the utmost humility and commitment. I hope my apology is received in the spirit of accountability, revolutionary solidarity, and a genuine commitment to upholding the values of the MK party. I'm fully prepared and committed to cooperate with any internal processes deemed necessary by the party as part of my continued dedication to the ideals of discipline, respect, and unity. In revolutionary solidarity, Commander Dudu Zuma, Umkhonto weSizwe party member. Ends. That's where it ends. So that's what she wrote. She did not apologize to Floyd Shivambu. She maintains that there are significant issues that she has about how things are handled within the organization, especially by the party secretary general. She has concerns. She will continue to have concerns. So here are my thoughts going into the conclusion of the video. It's clear that Dudu Zuma and some people in her camp do not view Floyd as being a valuable member of the party. She did make a mistake by setting social media on fire in the way that she did. There is fire on the mountain. I can't sing, but I like to. There is fire on the mountain top, and no one is running. That's what's happening right now. So it's very clear the top of the MK party has a little bit of fire, a little bit of kindle, Ingwati, a little bit of Ingwati there, setting a fire going, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing is Jacob Zuma showed that he is sticking with Floyd Shivambu for now. He's sticking for him. He's showing that, he has the support of Zuma. Zuma sat next to him. He was talking to him throughout when they were in parliament or at the tent where the parliament is currently having these debates. So he showed that Floyd is my boy. He's with me for now. And in the party, as long as you have the support of Jacob Zuma, you're safe. You're safe. And Zuma has invested a lot in putting Floyd into this position. Zuma wants the MK to be a national party. He wants the MK to grow stronger. He wants to be able to seriously take on President Ramaphosa, his camp, and to really end his days as an ANC member in good standing, having removed those he feels acted badly against him. So he views this ANC 2.0 coming in the future and Floyd as being a critical player in realizing that particular project. This is based on the whole stronger left, MK, ANC together dialogue that he had, Advocate Limpopo and others had. So as things stand right now, he is safe. Zuma's taken a big bet on him, and he's taken a big bet on himself by going into the MK party at this stage of his career. So they have a vested interest in making this thing succeed. However, there's something that just needs to be underlined. Picking a fight with the closest daughter of Jacob Zuma could ultimately backfire for Floyd, because in as much as this moment is one where he is safe, you ultimately cannot be more loyal or more loving to Jacob Zuma than Dudu Zuma. That is her greatest love. You can tell Dudu Zuma loves Jacob Zuma more than life itself. She would die for her father. Her father is the apple of her eye. He knows it. She knows it. Everybody knows it. It's very clear. Anybody who's going to have a relationship with Dudu Zuma, you are number 3 to her father. He's number 1, number 2. You may even be number 10. He may be number 1 up to 9. He's a great man in his own right. He's been the president, but also he seems to have really made a contribution in her life to the point where she really cherishes him. And ultimately, that's not something that you can fight. She's most loyal to her father. And as political dynamics shift and as there remains a question mark over your own loyalties, which is something that won't go away, that's a risk that he's playing, a risk that he has to keep factoring in, rather, because of that relationship, right? Third thought, there are going to be more people looking into the leadership style of Floyd Shivambu, because even today, there was an article in the Times newspaper that reported that Floyd Shivambu's leadership is under fire and there are calls for his resignation that are growing louder. According to the Times newspaper, there are 2 insiders who have intimate knowledge of the party's inner workings, who said that Floyd Shivambu has found himself up against National Chair Nathi Nhleko and the Deputy President John Hlophe. It's very possible that Dudu was not speaking for herself. It's very possible that this drama that she started was given the go-ahead by other people, right? The insiders claim that factions are forming within former President Jacob Zuma's inner circle, with some in favor of Shivambu and others who are, some of them within the family, wary of him. The quote that the newspaper is giving to the public as one of the main quotes is the following: "There are some of us who feel that he is a turncoat, as he could easily betray us for something better. That to me is immaterial because we have all left something. Another issue is that he does not identify with the branches. As Secretary General, you need to be in touch with the branches and you need to be approachable. He can't do that. He can't even respond to calls from branches. That's not how we work. Maybe it worked in the EFF, but here in MK, we need people who understand the importance of the branches." That's the quote from the insider. So I don't know. Are you in MK? Anybody watching this? Do you feel that these criticisms are justified of Floyd Shivambu? Are you in the branches? Is he easy to reach? Is he egocentric or is he approachable? What is your experience of him? I think that trust question is going to remain lingering over Floyd's head. Even yesterday when he was tweeting that Ndlozi's leadership It was something that even I didn't find to be genuine, because Ndlozi just said, I don't want to be seen as a wedge driver. I don't want to be seen as a betrayer or any of that, or a 10 coat, whatever. Then when you're there saying, my leadership, that doesn't look good on Ndlozi. He's just saying, look, I want to keep my distance from one particular political party. I want to be in civil society. Some civil society organizations are close to EFF. Some may be close to ANC. Some may be close to MK. You now trying to drag him closer to you. Also, it doesn't seem genuine. It seems like when you've got main character syndrome, even Ndlozi's moment, you want to be in it. That trust issue is going to be something that keeps following him around. It's going to follow him around. Floyd needs to move carefully. Right now, he has the upper hand in this moment, because what Dudu did was out of order. She was out of order. The whole tweets, whatever, in the night, that doesn't work. There's no way she can ever be able to justify that in terms of organizational discipline. So that gives him the upper hand. Of course, even Zuma, he can't even defend his daughter, even if he wanted to in that situation. However, he is still at risk, because there are people who are going to be worried about, one, the way that he just got into this whole situation, and they're always going to be looking at him saying, watch this guy, maybe he's got a foot outside, he's going to tell us that he was misled again, or that someone else is his blood brother, and that he doesn't want gangsters anymore, or whatever the case may be. It's a concern. It's a concern. I'm not attacking him. I don't know these people personally. I've never been to their houses. I don't know Floyd. I don't know Mbuyiseni. I don't know their addresses. I don't know who they date or whatever the case may be. It's none of my business. I don't know them like that. I'm just telling you what it looks like from where I'm sitting, right? He has to be aware of this trust issue, because the other thing that some people will be asking, and here it is, I'm going to tell you, what happened to VBS? Since Floyd has left the EFF, it seems Paulie and others in the media no longer care to talk about VBS. And remember, Matodzi mentioned Floyd directly, said Floyd is the one who did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mentioned him directly in his affidavit where he did a plea deal. Now, all of a sudden, all of that has quietened down. There will be some people within the Zuma circles thinking, even though this guy is with us now, what happens when Busiril want to get him? When the NPA comes for him? Is he going to throw us under the bus to get out of being held accountable for VBS? Has he already done that? Is he a triple agent, working for EFF, then MK, then working for Ramaphosa, not necessarily us, because he has something hanging over his head? That story has somehow disappeared. Maybe it's because the media doesn't want to pursue it, while they think that the far left is fighting each other, the MK, EFF, so let that play out before you make a move. But there's a risk there. And I don't think that risk is totally zero. To me, even if you don't look at Floyd with a question mark, the other risk that exists, because one of the risks that exists for MK is that Jacob Zuma may die. I don't wish it upon him. I wish him to live as long as he can, to even outlive Mandela. Get close to 100 or cross 100. I don't want you to think I'm wishing for anybody to get sick or anything like that. What I'm saying is that's a risk that exists in MK. If your party is closely associated to one man, if that man falls and gets sick and has to pass on to the ancestral plane, Wakanda forever, then what, right? The other risk, though, is that now Floyd has taken this SG position. What happens if the NPA moves on him? What happens if there's a big explosion around the VBS matter? Can that also not cause a massive risk to the party? I don't know. What do you think? Let's have a conversation. That's where things are. Dudu has apologized, but the fire is now, I think, officially on the mountain. There is fire on the mountain. There is fire on the mountain top, and no one is running. Till the next one.